Hello, everyone. Our next speaker is not only an agile coach, she is a certified coach from the ICF, as well as she is a certified team coach, that is CTC, and CAL educator, and so on. On the professional life, she is passionate to support her clients to deliver the value to the customers through the transparent processes. She is a proud member of the European Gathering team for the Global Scrum Gathering Vienna 2019 and Lisbon 2021. Let me introduce you Raquel Silva from UK. Today's session, Raquel will speak about something which is close to his belief, and her belief is that every day to make the workplace more, how we can create the workplace more human, a place where the people enjoy being trusted each other and working better together. So it's all yours, Raquel. You are in live, so please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm uh, I'm gonna share my screen. So uh, thank you and welcome you all. So today's session will be about enhanced communication, and something that is very close to my heart is how to transform complaints in actions or requests for change. So I will not speak more about you. You already know. So I am, besides being an agile coach, I'm also a professional coach. And become a professional coach was a journey that changed me. So let's start our talk now. And yeah, did you ever had the feeling that you work in the compliance department of your company? Probably you had, and I had that feeling many, many times because people keep complaining and complaining and complaining about whatever comes in their lives, and they do not move forward. So, why do we complain? It's natural for us to complain. It's part of who we are. It's part of human nature. Uh, Many times might not be the best way or serving us in the best way. And complaining gives us an excuse to do not take action. Also gives a good excuse to procrastinate things that we could or we might do. And we might go on the procrastination side. And it's easier to complain, way easier than take an action and move forward. And not taking actions, what happens? We are avoiding our own responsibility to make something different, to make the world a better place. So let's learn a bit about what is a complaint. So a complaint is a statement that something is unsatisfactory or unacceptable. It might be a need or a dream that is not met. And by complaining, sometimes is a very unskillful way of giving feedback to someone. Does this resonate with you? Yeah. One of the questions I started to ask myself when I was working with my teams is why is so important to change this behavior? Changing this behavior might give us focus, help us to take action, do something about the situation where we are in. So, as many of us, as Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, or leaders, it's utmost important that will help people to start to take actions. We need in our teams to be productive and high effective. So what we want is improved productivity and inquisitive minds. We want people to move forward. And one of the questions I ask many times is, how can I help to do that? Helping to do that by doing it, by modeling the behaviors and teaching others how to do it. As coaches, and is one of the things that is stated on the professional coaching, is as coaches, we believe that people are whole and resourceful. We truly believe that people can change. So, where to start? Help to identify the complaint and be a good listener. So, let people vent, because when people vent and there is someone actually listening to them, people feel heard. How much do you appreciate when someone takes time to really listen to you? When was the last time that you really feel listen? When someone took the time to actually pay attention and listening to you. So after listening and allow people to vent, as humans, we tend to go on solutionizing. As coaches, we probably need, or we must do, is give time, create a safe space, and ask questions as the one on screen. Open possibilities. So what you would like to have happen? Or what needs to happen? And so also we can ask, what can you do about it? So after listen to someone, ask questions, inquire about their emotions. Why is this so important to them? What is possible? What they can see that would happen, that make people happy, that can make people move forward, can make themselves move forward. So be curious, don't judge. And I don't know if you are familiar with the term active listening and levels of listening. Did you ever ask yourself, am I a good listener? Do I feel that I am a good listener? You can ask, do you know some of the characteristics of the good listening? You can actually find them on screen, like hearing for the words, but not only. Observe the body language, summarizing. We can actually, the person is talking to us, and every now and then we can offer them what we are listening and helping them to reflect, create self-awareness. So this is something that we as coaches need to have in ourselves. Start to modeling this. So one of the questions is, and that is would be something that we would like to reflect about on ourselves. What can I do to improve my listening? As coaches, we are always looking for feedback, and listening is at most important to actually help the teams we work with, the people we work with, so they can can have a trust environment and feel listened. So if we can actually learn how to listen better, what would the impact, what the impact would be of that? So after the person vent, we listen, we open possibilities. What is possible now? So when we have many times in our lives, people get caught in day-to-day job and they forget to dream because, as we saw in the beginning, it's easier to complain than to actually take actions. So helping them to visualize what is possible, changing from a negative complaining to a positive behavior, explore what is possible, how good looks like, or why is this so important for you? Touch with the person motivation, deepest feelings. So this can help them to connect with them as well and find their strength, their motivation, what would make them move forward. Open these possibilities will actually make change. Because for making change, we need to know where we want to go and to create actions to make the change. So this is our responsibility, helping people to work on this process. And how can we do this in an effective way? Because we can do it one time and we change it one time, but we want these changes to be long lasting. We want people to embrace a learning mindset, change their behaviors for take actions, do not sit and complain, but actually move forward. So one of the ways that we have to do that is learn alternative ways of communicating. One of those ways is learning how to give and receive feedback. Giving and receiving feedback in the beginning, if it's not an habit, it makes feedback awkward, and people are not used to get it or give it. So we model this behavior, and there are actually frameworks to learn how to give positive and constructive feedback. And one of the things when I learned this framework that we're going to talk next was exactly the Agile Manifesto. So the Agile Manifesto tells us we are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. Did you ever thought about it? So, modeling the behavior we actually learn and help others to do the same, as the Agile Manifesto so well says. So let's look to the framework for feedback. The framework for feedback calls COIN. So COIN stands for context, observation, impact, and next. So give context. If you are to talk with someone about something, give context. The person might not be aware when that happened or what happened. And after that, you can make an observation. State the facts. What happened? What really happened in that day? and what was the impact of it, or what might be in the future, what you are afraid to happen. And then is next, moving forward. What can we do to change this situation? How can I support you to do that? Let me give you an example. Many times we are in meetings and someone takes over the conversation and everybody else in the room feels afraid to actually talk. And we observe this as coaches or as a team member. How can we use the COIN framework to address such feedback to someone that probably is not aware of his actions? So one of the things is avoiding sentences started by you. Try not to blame anyone. Is a fact, happen, and we are here to make happen something different. So imagine that you approach this person will call Maria, and you'd like to talk with her. So you go and say, I would like to share with you something from yesterday and give you a piece of feedback. Is that okay for you? People have choice to receive feedback. Okay? So state your intention in there and then give the context. Yesterday, during the meeting, I noticed that everybody in the room was very quiet. And you did most of the talking, which was a presenting way and very innovative. But what I'm afraid that happened is that we might lost some input from other people in the room. They might have other situations or other situations to share or give their opinions and their backgrounds on or their point of views on the matter in the state. And I'm afraid that we lost that yesterday. So if I might assist you, what can we do to actually allow to have more interaction with other participants on the next time? So this is a way for us to actually give feedback without hurting, without the person feels it is something that happened. So we are not telling her this in a harsh way. We want to help and we want something to change for the next time. And it's not up to us to use it. In the beginning, it might sound awkward. As I told you before, feedback, if it's not a habit, is awkward. So we need actually to practice feedback, make this on the conversational way, and teach others how to do it. That is at most important if we actually want change to last. So there is something that is most important for everybody. There is emotional intelligence. When we are talking about people, we are talking about feelings, emotions, social connections. And we want that people have high levels of emotional intelligence. What is it? So, emotional intelligence is something that in words we have self-awareness, we have self-management, meaning we are aware of our emotions and we can control them and use them. Outwards, we can perceive other people's emotions and use empathy and connect with them. Have social awareness. What can happen if we do something that hurts someone? And this will help us to build and grow good relationships between teams, management, and everybody that lives around us in our workplace. Let's talk a bit more about emotional intelligence and about what are the impacts or some of the characteristics of it. So, empathy is one of the key factors of emotional intelligence. So, high emotional intelligent people accept themselves and others as they have awareness of their own feelings and the empathy for the others. They can actually communicate better. They can connect in a deeper level. And they would genuinely care about others. How low emotional intelligence looks like. So, low emotional intelligence is not having exactly the contrary, not having awareness of the impact of our actions. It's not recognizing how we are perceived or what we are feeling. And that sometimes makes communication passive or aggressive. And we lack empathy. And the person lacks empathy. So we cannot connect with people on a deeper level in there. So these are some of the external signals of emotional intelligence. When we talk about actually actions on that we can understand as low emotional intelligence signs, is the feelings of someone are not obvious. People have intensified behaviors, tends to go on the blaming side, blaming other people for their own problems. Tend to have emotional outbursts, not be able to control the emotions. And try to turn the conversations all turns to themselves. So this is this can create very difficulties for the teams and for the individuals in it and for the environment where we live or work. So if low emotional intelligence might be a huge problem, how can we grow it? So how do we grow it? Awareness is key. So, and to grow emotional intelligence in ourselves will help us to grow it in others. So, look at your environment. Do you rush to judgment before you hear the facts? Or I put this on me, so it's easier for me to talk. Do I stereotype? Do I put myself in first place? Or do I accept others' perspectives? Do I seek attention for my accomplishments? Or I'm humble and actually be honored with the things and giving and receiving feedback about things I did and be willing to improve. Giving others the chance to shine and do a self-evaluation quiz. Sometimes helps so we can actually find who am I? Where do I stand? What would be the qualities that I need to grow? And many times, do a bit of self reflection about what is my behavior, how people perceive me. And that comes with responsibility. So I take responsibility for my own actions. Do I do that? Is that crucial for me? And that brings us to the other question is, how can I examine my actions and how do will affect others? Can I look to that? Can I see that? Can I observe what is the reaction to my own behaviors? So this is how can we grow emotional intelligence. So if you there is very good books about it if you are interested in low and learn more about it. But grow emotional intelligence in ourselves and help others to grow emotional intelligence will make feedback, active listening way easier for everybody in your team or on your environment. So one of the things is there's only one thing we can actually change, and that is me, my behaviors. I can do that. I cannot change other people's. So for that, and we've been learning so far some characteristics. So we learn that we should, when someone is complaining, listen to them, let them vent, be curious, don't judge. And after that, ask for their needs. How would that look like? Help others to see your own behavior. After that, open possibilities. What can we do to change that? Offer support, offer your help. If we do that, what will happen? People will see change in us. And they will actually, by seeing, wanting to do it. And we will be there to support them in their change. Because when you listen upon, you tend more to listen to others as well. This is just a piece of advice. Worry only about things that you can actually change. And why is that? We can be worrying about the world, but there is certain few things that might and should earn our concern to change. And that would be uh, something that is in our control, in our power. One of the tools that I many times use, not only for myself, but for my teams to create focus on actions and drive actions, is the circles of influence. We can map what is on my control to change. What can I influence here? Or what is out of range? And with time, and if we keep doing this analysis, our influence will grow. We can grow this awareness, grow this in people. And one of the things that actually work is when you see something changing. When we as Scrum Masters and Agile coaches, we many times do retrospectives. And we live in the complainment department. So using circles of influence to actually map out, hear them, what would be the actions, and map actions for what we can change and start to see little things happening. Another tool that is most dear to my heart is paper constellations. This is a ORSC tool where we can actually map relationships in our teams. And we can ask people to map them now, how they see them, and map them in the afterwards, how they would like to be. So this would have two sides of the same coin. So one side is for your team. You can see how they perceive each other and how their relationships, how they wish their relationships would be. The other side is for you as a coach. You can actually use this and keep it to help your team to have great relationships and be able to understand and include everybody. Uh, so when we think about what can we really change, we can change our attitude, our behavior, and take action. That is the key. And doing so, if we start to take action tomorrow with our teams, sooner we will start to see the benefits, and so will they see it. And what happens if you change? If we many times stop sitting and feeling sorry because we work in the complaint department, and we start to shift ourselves to work in the ideas department and change department, where people construct, change, and move forward. So my final advice for you guys is close or help people close the complaint department in your company or where you in your workplace, and help them to create an ideas department. Be creative, be change, and move forward. Thank you all